How's it going, everybody? It is me, Skoda Based, and I'm here to help you out with your controller settings and aim assist. Also, a couple of display settings I'll help you tweak a little bit that might help you in your excuse me, in your multiplayer competitive gaming. If you're anything like me, you get quite competitive in multiplayer and you like to win, you like to be accurate, you like to feel like you're in control of your player. So without further ado, we are going to get right into this. First of all, you're going to want to obviously go to your settings. Don't mind this. That's, yeah, a long story. But anyways, we're going to go to your controller, okay? And for this, we're going to basically, most of this is basically, you just kind of leave it alone. There's only a few things we're going to do here, the few last ones. But I'll just go down the line for you. So for your button layout, you're going to want to keep these as default, unless, of course, you would like to change them or you feel comfortable with another set of buttons. That's totally up to you. I like to leave them on default, so they're going to stay on default. For the sensitivity, horizontal and vertical sensitivity sticks, I like to keep mine at 7. This actually seems to be a common number for a lot of people. Sometimes I'll lower it to 6, but usually it's about a 7 for me. You know, some people are just not as quick, and that's how I feel sometimes, so I'll lower it to like a 6. But I don't ever go lower than 6 or higher than 7, so I would recommend it around 7. And then for your simplified controls preset, just keep that off. Low motor strain preset off. Bumper ping, you can keep that off for now. Swap off. Vibration, if you are really trying to be competitive and you don't want to take as many losses, you don't want to be hindered by anything, you definitely don't want your controller vibration on. You want this off because, you know, if you're anything like me, when your controller is vibrating while you're shooting or you're getting shot at or whatever, what have you, it's going to interfere with your brain's, connections to what's going on. It's going to trigger you and it's going to make you, not as accurate, not as reactive as you can be, not as smooth and seamless as you can be without the vibration. So I highly recommend turning this off. Unless, of course, that's, like I said, for all these settings, it's totally up to you. But for this one, this is the one I would recommend it to stay off. As for your Deadzone inputs, we're going to have to put 7 for your left stick minimum. You're going to want 80 for your left stick maximum, okay? And then 7 for your right stick, and then 100 for your max on the right stick. And then for your left and right trigger, you want them at 0. This is going to be the delay for your triggers. You want no delay, just 1. Well, you're going to have some delay if you have it at 1 or higher, any amount higher than that. So, yeah, these are the settings that you want for this. I actually got these settings from another video, which I will leave in the description. You can go check that out if you prefer. He does it a little bit quicker, and he's not quite as thorough as I'm going to be, but he basically does what I'm doing and just he goes through it kind of quicker. So if you want that, then go ahead, be my guest. I'm not gonna throw any shade anywhere. You can go ahead and do that if you would like. But for everyone else, that's going to be it for the controller. Next, we're going to go on to aiming. For this, you're going to want to keep the inversion at standard, unless, of course, you want to invert your gameplay. That means this is the vertical inversion, so your up will go down and your down will go up if you have this on inverted. Your aiming advanced settings, this is more important. So this is something that I would highly recommend you do per verbatim, and don't, I wouldn't recommend going off and trying something else, unless, of course, obviously I can't control your life. You're going to do what you're going to want to do, but highly recommend instant. This is your ADS sensitivity transition timing, your aim down the sights. So this is basically the time from like basically your hip fire to aiming down your sights. And you want that to be instant. You want the timing to be instant. You don't want it to be like gradual. You don't want your sensitivity to gradually reach the sensitivity that you set it to. You want it to be instant, so that way you keep the same seamless sensitivity throughout the excuse me, throughout the game. So instant is what you want to go for. Third person ADS, just leave it on assist. And then aim responsive curve type, you're gonna want to keep it on dynamic. Okay, this one I can't really explain in detail. The guy whose video I was motivated, inspired by for this video, even he doesn't really know. It doesn't explain it, so I'm assuming he doesn't even know why he has it on dynamic. He kind of just phases through it like there's no, he just like kind of just runs through it and just hopes that you don't pay attention to that or whatever. But I mean, hey, no shade, I guess. You know what I'm saying? I'm just letting you know, like, I don't understand exactly why. I just know that this is the setting that a lot of people go for. So if you want to dive deeper into this setting, I'll actually, you know what? I'll leave a link in the description for you to research this and understand the importance and the actual details of these settings. Okay, so I'll do that for you. But anyways, just go to dynamic and you'll be good. For custom sensitivity for zoom, this is basically like, this is how you customize your sensitivity to the T. Okay, this is the thing that you're gonna want to play with the most if you really want to get detailed with your accuracy. But it's not really accurate. It's more of a, what is your accuracy? But this is basically the one you want to focus on the most is the one I'm going to tell you that I focus on, and that's your ADS sensitivity, the low zoom. These are basically your 1.5 zooms, your regular, your red dots, and your iron sights, which is no optic at all. And your sensitivity, I put mine down to 70.75. I believe that's because that was his setting and I tried it and it works perfectly for me too. So I definitely recommend this setting. But of course, however, if you would like a different type of sensitivity as you aim down your iron sights or red dot or your 1.5, this is how fast or slow it's going to be. So 0.75 means it's going to be 25% slower when I aim down my sight for my sensitivity compared to my 100% sensitivity to when I'm just on hip fire. So that's what it's going to do for me. And this is what I mean by it. This is like your more detailed version, because if you have for this one is 2 times or your 3 times scope, you could do the same thing, except you're applying the setting for the low zoom to your low zoom to your 2 times and your 3 times zoom, and then so on and so forth for each zoom, all the way to 10 times. So depending on which zoom you're using, this is how much multiplied your sensitivity will be. So I'll give you one more example. Say you got a 4 times or 5 times zoom on your sniper and you zoom in, it's going to be twice as sensitive now because I have it on 2 times. Or it could be twice as sensitive, 0.05, a little bit extra more sensitive than 2 times. Basically 200% or 205% in this case. So that's how that works, okay? And you can mess with this and play with your guns and then go to the firing range or go to a private match and fix up your own match and see how you like it. You can mess with this one a lot. But for me, I don't really use too many big zooms. I don't really snipe that much, so I just need the 0.75. That works perfect for me. Okay, now moving on to target aim assist. You're going to want to keep that on. Of course, it's really good. ADS aim assist, yes, very good. Keep that on. Motion sensor behavior, we'll keep this off. Motion sensor event settings, you don't need to mess with any of this because you're going to have your sensors off. For movement, you're going to want to put your tactical sprint assist on. This is just basically, this makes it the easiest to just tactically run and sprint without having any delays or any troubles doing it. This is the quickest way to do it. So highly recommend tactical sprint assist. Whereas if you didn't have it, you would have to click. It just wouldn't be as fluid and seamless. This makes it a lot more seamless after the delay time. So for this Mantle Assist, I recommend off, because if you're moving and you accidentally get near something, basically Mantle Assist is basically climbing something. So if you have this on and you move towards something by accident, you might accidentally grab onto that instead of shooting at the guy that you're trying to shoot at, and it might mess with your aim, so on and so forth. So definitely keep this off if you're worried about that, like I am. Um, Crouch assist, the same thing. It's gonna, it can throw your aim off. You might not, it might you might be aiming at someone and then you get a crouch assist and it just throws your whole aiming off and whatnot. So I recommend keeping that off. Corner slice is when you're basically I'll put a video up as I'm talking here, but it's basically when you're looking left and then when you're looking right around a corner and the camera kind of turns to the side a little bit at a little angle, and it kind of gives you that more fluid, realistic feeling, like the more immersive feeling in the game. I highly recommend I highly recommend keeping this on because it just adds that more, it just feels more accurate and focused. As whereas if you have it where it's just where there's no corner slice on, I'll put another video for this. It's just like so straight, and you just feel like you don't feel as comfortable. You feel like you're being targeted really easily. You just feel very vulnerable, and that's not what you want. You want to feel confident in your gameplay. You want to feel good about what you're doing. So I recommend keeping this on. Slide dive behavior. I have mine on tap to dive. You can put yours onto whatever. So if you want to go hybrid and prefer that one, then hey, go with hybrid. I actually would probably recommend going hybrid because that's probably the one that most people would feel comfortable with. However, I like the tap to dive because that's just what feels natural to me personally. So that's how I have there. And then of course, to show more, you can put how long it takes for you to dive or slide. I just keep mine at medium. I don't really need it to be too short or too long. Medium's fine for me. But of course, again, you could play with that one and pick short or long if you would like. Um, Automatically airborne mantle. You can just keep that on. Sprint restore on because you don't want to. You don't want to have to keep like trying to fix your sprint, turning it off and on. So just leave this on and it'll automatically resume sprinting after you do your actions or whatever. It'll keep you on the go. And that's what you want because you want to keep being able to go and not having to worry about everything else. Slide, maintain, sprint. You want that on. Parachute automatic behavior, I would set to off so you can open it whenever you're ready. It doesn't force you to open for you unless you like it automatically to open for you. Then of course that's your own preference. I don't really play Warzone too much, so it doesn't really bother me either way. But I would keep it off if I do play Warzone because it would feel more comfortable being more free to use that in that way. But anyways, mantle cancels reload, so you can turn this off or on. I would keep it on because I just thought about it. And sometimes when I'm reloading, I want to cancel my reload, and so it feels good to me to turn it off. To cancel my reload while I'm mantling because it'll help me reset. If I'm running from someone or someone's right behind me, I can go up the mantle. I can mantle something, and then I don't have to worry about switching my weapon or canceling out my reload. It'll cancel it for me, and I can just turn around and shoot him and do a 180 on him, or you know what I mean, and get that turnaround advantage. So I'm gonna keep that on. Of course, again, it is your preference. You could turn it off if you prefer it to be off. Your movement advanced settings. So for me, I have my tactical sprint behavior on toggle. I don't like to hold it. I just like to click it real quick so I don't have to keep my brain too occupied with so many multitasking buttons. I could just click it and then I could focus on my aim and my shots while I'm playing. Auto move forward and auto door peek, I keep those off. I don't really want anything to automatically happen except for my sprinting. So we'll keep those off. Single tap sprint, that is the best one in my opinion because obviously you just want to hurry up and sprint. You don't want to have to, like I said, you don't want to keep your brain too busy with too many tasks and too many buttons here and there trying to get it all organized in your head at all when you have like a millisecond to think or whatever, you know what I mean? So I'd keep that off, or not off, but as single tap sprint. And then okay, so for plunging underwater, this is actually another good one. I would keep this at free, so that way when you go in the water, you can just go straight under. You don't have to like sprint to, you don't have to really toggle anything. You just dive underwater and go up or down, and you'll be completely fine. It's a lot more freeing, kind of like how the parachute feeling gives you. You'll be much more free. I feel like when you have to sprint and trigger you're plunging towards the water, you just feel like, for me at least, I feel like like it's claustrophobic. It makes me feel claustrophobic, and I don't like that feeling, so I keep it on free. Sprinting door bash, this one also, I don't want it. I want to be free, so I keep it on because I just like to burst through the doors. I don't want to have to, press X to open it. I like to press X if I'm being slow about it, but if I'm being fast, obviously I just want to hurry up and bust through the door and be fine with it. But if you find yourself busting through doors too often, and you're like, you don't want to do that, and you're like, you have a bad habit of breaking through them when you don't want to, then I mean, turn it off, and then it might fix your problem, and you'll be better off that way. Um, Okay. Vehicle advanced settings, that's totally up to you. We're not going to do vehicles advanced. We're not going to do vehicle settings on this one. This is just for your multiplayer player settings and like Warzone and things like that. Not for the vehicles. Um, so for combat, we're going to have the aim down sight behavior is going to be hold, that's the easiest one. That's the fastest. It keeps you going. You stay on your guard the whole time. ADS melee, you're gonna keep that on there. Dedicated melee weapon, hold melee. Um, you can weapon cycle it to melee if you would like. So you can change the rotation. So basically, when you press Y or you press triangle or whatever it is your weapon chain's binding is, you can add it to your cycle, your weapon cycle, or you can just hold melee, which I think is the quickest version. Um, Finishing move, you could switch up to. You could change it to your finishing move. Prioritize body shield. I would prioritize body shield because that's just what I like more. So I'm gonna keep it on that. You can change it to whatever you feel the best. I just like using the body shield more than I like the finishing move, so I'm gonna go with the body shield first. Or you can put it to only body shield or only finishing move. But I'm going to prioritize because I do like using the finishing move every now and then. Armor plate behavior. So this is to get armor plates. You're going to want to, I would have it on apply all. So that way, like I said, again, I can't reiterate enough. It just helps your mind from doing too many things. It just activates it all at one time. It puts all your plates on. You don't have to worry about one by oneing them. So that's for. Detonation activation. This one you can do one by one or all at once. I mean, I recommend all at once because you don't know when you're gonna need it, and if like someone's somewhere. And so, I mean, you can, if you really want to be technical and you have that strategy, big brain mindset, then maybe you can do one by one. You could like, lure people to go here or there, scare people away from one side and then blow them up on the other side. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, you can use that if you're smooth enough and you're good enough, then, there's an idea for you. That's what the one by one I presume would be used for. Otherwise, for everyone else, if you're like me, just all at once is a lot easier. You don't have to worry about thinking too much. Equipment behavior, hold. You can fix it to toggle if you'd like. I like it on hold just in case I change my mind while I'm using it. But if you want to be quick with it, you just want to just quickly use it or whatever, then toggle's good. This one, honestly, toggle might be better for some of you. But I like to hold because this is one of the few things where I feel like I can kind of because usually equipment, you can take your time a little better with it. So yeah, instead of just pressing it and toggling it, you're just gonna use it again. And as for manual fire behavior, you're gonna want to press to shoot. Obviously, you don't want to hold to shoot. That would just take so much time, and that would be so inconvenient for you. For combat behaviors, you're gonna want to go down to change D-pad up behavior, set it to ping. I think it's already set to ping. Just keep it at that. For the change zoom activation, sprint tactical focus, you're gonna want to put it on that option. For weapon mount exit, this is when you mount by pressing the right stick when you're near a a piece of environment like a wall or a tree stump or something like that, when you're near something, uh, this is whether you can just dismount by moving from it, or if you turn it off, you'll just stay mounted on it. And the only way you can dismount is if you press right stick again. I'd recommend definitely instant, so that way you can just get on and off of it without having to worrying about getting stuck. Or again, as I keep repeatedly saying, you don't have to keep your brain too active in trying to, press all these buttons when you could just do it more seamlessly. For interact reload behavior, you want to put tap to reload for obvious reasons. You want to reload fast. Just tapping to reload is the quickest way. Sprint cancels reload. You want that. This one is a more preference option, I would say. If you feel more comfortable when you sprint, it just cancels reload, then you're fine. For me, I have no problem switching my weapons back and forth to cancel my reload, and I'd rather just sprint. Um, but I don't know. Sometimes I change my mind about it. So this one is just a personal preference. You might want to put it on if it helps you, so you don't have to worry about flicking through your weapon cycles just to cancel your reload. You could just sprint to cancel it. So that's totally up to you. If you're on the go all the time, I honestly would probably recommend this on. I, however, don't like it, so I'm going to keep it off. For Akimbo behavior, this is basically your double weapons. If you want to shoot them independently, one at a time, I believe that's with your left and right triggers, or if you want to pair them and shoot them simultaneously. I like to have it independent. It just feels better, feels more accurate, feels more realistic. So that's the one I keep. This one's also a preferred option. ADS stick swap, you can go ahead and leave that off. Depleted ammo switch, I would keep this on, so that way your weapon automatically switches for you really quick as soon as you run out of ammo. That obviously will be very helpful and convenient. Yeah, just keep that on. Keep the ammo switch on, so that way it switches your weapon as soon as you're done with ammo. Scoreboard toggle, you can keep it on hold if you want, so that way you're not stuck looking at the board and you have it on, you have the scoreboard up, and then you forget to take it off, and you need to hurry up and shoot somebody while you're looking at it. This could be very convenient for you on hold, but I'd have it on toggle because I don't mind. I don't like to hold my buttons really, but you can do what you want, of course, with that one. For inventory control, just directional buttons, of course, most people are going to pick that. Ping wheel delay, no ping wheel delay for me. Double tap trigger, ping delay, I have that on short because I want to be able to do it as quickly as possible. Wheels behavior, I have it on toggle. So I could just open the pinwheel and then take it off. I like to toggle it. You might want to hold it. I like to toggle. This is totally personal preference. Not going to really have too much effect on you outside of that. So, okay. And that's that for the aim assist and the controlling movement. Now, I'm just going to show you one more thing for you. And this is basically going to be your display. For display, the brightness, I just have it on 55, have it a little bright. This, obviously, you can pick anything you want. If you want it be a little bit brighter so you could see people easier, you can go with whatever you want. I like it on 55 because I can see fine, and it adds that nice coloration to it that I like. So that's how I have that. For quality, we're going to switch to quality. And this, it should be very cut and dry for you. If you want to go as fast as you want with the most frames per second, just put everything on very low. And then the upscaling, if you have NVIDIA GPU, just go with NVIDIA so it's more, it's more compatible. If you have AMD, go with AMD. AMD 3 I would recommend because that's what a lot of people recommend for this upscaling and sharpening. Obviously, if you have Intel, then go with Intel. You know what I mean? Go with the one that is compatible with your system. I'm going with NVIDIA. And this is the one that it automatically went to anyway, so I'm assuming that's the best one either way. For all this other stuff, just put it on low and minimum, or off if you can, all the way to the lowest one. I've seen videos where some people will put the particles on high and then this one off and this one medium. I don't know what the less you have, the less power your computer is going to take, and the more accurate and the more FPS you're going to have. I mean, for me, it doesn't even matter. I can have these all up, and my FPS will be still maxed out at 250 because I have a 4080 Super and I have a 7800 X3D AMD CPU, so it doesn't matter for me. But I keep it on low just so I don't. I love my computer, so I'm not gonna I'm not going to rub it the wrong way in any way. Every now and then I might higher the graphics, but I like to keep it on low. And if you have, a lower version of a computer, or you have, an Xbox or something, I don't even know if you could change the quality that much on the consoles. I haven't used a console for a while. So, but if you can, I would recommend just keeping this on low if you're having FPS problems, otherwise, put it where you want. As for view, I was told on the other video to keep it at 115. I believe it starts at 9. Yeah, it's 90 is the initial, and I think that's for consoles. I'd recommend putting it on 115 simply, basically for no other than he told me to. And so 115 seems to be the Goldilocks spot. Of course, this is something you can play with. You can make it higher, you can make it lower, and put it to where your heart's content is. Keep the ADS field of view affected. Weapons field of view, you're gonna want to put it on wide. Wide. So if you have it on wide, it makes your weapons smaller so you can see more. Weapons field of view is what makes your weapons smaller when you have it on wide. Kind of get these things like mixed up between each other. But anyways, as long as I correct myself, you'll be all right. Okay, and he also recommended to invert the flashbang, and that means basically instead of turning all white for you, it'll turn the screen black. I don't recommend that because for me, for some reason, like when the screen turns black, I feel like I literally close my own eyes, and it fucks with my head, and I don't like that at all. So if you're like me, you just keep the flashbang off. Don't invert it and let it be white. Like, yeah, it's annoying. It's supposed to be annoying. It's a flashbang. But if you like if you want to invert it and turn it black instead of white, be my guest. That is your choice. However, I'm giving you a fair warning. It does not feel the same, obviously, and it just doesn't feel as good. It strikes me the wrong way. So I don't recommend this coming from me. So, but you're free to do anything at your own discretion. Motion reduction preset off, arachnophobia mode off. This is basically turning the vermins to more friendly variants. That's interesting. I didn't even realize that. That's actually kind of cool to do that. But yeah, you can leave this off, or you can change it if you want to mess around and just see something. That's your choice. Benchmark tool, we're not going to touch. And that is all we have for this one. So I know there's something else. You're going to want to go to interface under your settings. You're going to want to go to readability. Okay, global readability. Okay, go all the way down to color customization. This is really crucial for your HUD color palette, and this helps me a lot. I don't know why they have U set to yellow, but I had to change it to green. That is the more universal color for your own character, so that's the one I went with. I love the lime green, bright green, like neon, or like that sort of crystal green color. You can go for like a darker green if you want, or the next darker one. I like the brighter one, but I recommend green because it's just easier on the eyes for me, and you can see it better in game too, in my opinion. And then for your team, I'd recommend just keep that at blue. Your party, dark green, so that way you still recognize your party as like you, but they're a little bit darker version of you, a darker green, so you realize that that's your team. It correlates more to your brain that's the people that you're partied up with. If that makes any sense. I hope you understand like what I'm saying, but that's what I recommend. And then your enemy, keep it on red, like the red that it's on. You can keep it a little darker or whatnot. I like it on brighter red because it stands out more, and that's what you want. You want your enemy to stand out as much as you can. Neutral, just keep it as white. You can keep it gray if you want, but white also stands out because even though it's neutral, you want to be able to see it clearly. And then contested, it's gonna be this last yellow, this sort of dull yellow. I recommend putting it on the bright yellow that you had on your own character, and it'll stand out for you much better. So that's what I recommend. And then squad member colors, you can change to however you want. Squad members, you can fix it to however. I'll probably change this around. I don't really play Warzone too much, so I don't really know what I want it right now. But you can change these to whatever you want. Figure it out how you want. Color filter. I don't want any color filter. So you can play with that if you want to, but I'd recommend just leaving it how it is with none. But yeah, your main thing, if you're like me, you're just playing multiplayer, this is what I recommend the settings for multiplayer. You are green, your team's blue, your party's darker green. Whatever green you have, make your party a darker green, I recommend. Or you could do it in the inverse way, and you could be the dark green and they could be the lighter green if you prefer. But I always want mine to be the brightest, obviously the most seeable, because that's me. So I would be the most prioritized one. So that's what I recommend. And yeah, that's about it for this. I hope I helped you out a little bit. If not, you can always, I strongly encourage people to do their own research, think for yourself, be a critical thinker, and, keep at it. Don't give up. And, as always, game to your heart's content. This is Skoda Based. Peace out.